Hi guys, so a lot of Brexiteers have suddenly realised, or perhaps realised isn't the correct word, they have discovered that imposing inhumane border controls, the ones that were demanded as part of Brexit, have consequences. Remainers and generally decent people have been saying for years that if you end freedom of movement, it will have a negative outcome. They said what Priti Patel has been doing since she's been in charge is immoral and borderline illegal, but she was cheered on by the Farages and Nick Ferraris of this world. Well, now the latter, who cheered on Boris Johnson to get Brexit done back in 2019, suddenly has a problem with how borders are managed. Have a listen to Nick Ferrari suggest that the UK government is incompetent when it comes to dealing with humanitarian issues.
So this is the situation. Europe is on the brink of a war. We have a Home Secretary who doesn't know the difference between Calais and Lille and says a station is open when it's not. We have a Foreign Secretary who just a few weeks ago said, yes, go off to Ukraine if you want to fight, and when challenged about that said, not only no, don't go, claims she didn't even say it in the first place. OK, playtime is over. Off you go. You're not up to it. Get them both out and get in some grown-ups. Why should we have to live with this incompetence as we watch mothers and babies being shelled and losing their lives? Why?
Nick, I'll tell you why. Because you cheered Boris Johnson on in 2019. This is what you wanted. You're getting exactly what you wanted. Don't complain about it now. We told you Boris Johnson is a compulsive liar. Boris Johnson surrounds himself with sycophants, yes men, yes women, people who are also career politicians, people who don't care about Britain, they don't care about the British people, they care about themselves. Boris Johnson surrounds himself with narcissists, it seems. And, of course, him being the king narcissist of them all. He highlighted here two people, Priti Patel. Priti Patel, I don't even need to go into it. We all know what she's like. But Liz Truss is a more interesting character because Liz Truss used to be a Remainer, or used to be pro-European. Now she's anti-European. How do you change? Like, how do you... when Boris Johnson hires people to be part of his team, and they say X on Monday and the complete polar opposite to X on Tuesday, how can you trust Boris Johnson's leadership and how can you cheer him on as you did Nick Ferrari in 2019? Getting Brexit done, getting Brexit done, getting Brexit done, taking back control of our borders. But this is the consequence of taking back control. Putting in place barriers to refugees. Look, Nick Ferrari is saying about how people are being shelled. They're losing their lives. You can't complain about that. That's exactly what you voted for in 2016. And that's what you voted for. I presume he voted for Boris Johnson in 2019 because the alternative... Look, I have my problems with Jeremy Corbyn. But you can't even compare Corbyn and Boris Johnson. Can you imagine if Jeremy Corbyn had been in power during the pandemic? There wouldn't have been PPE contracts handed over to mates, to friends, to donors of the Labour Party if they were in power. This... And I'm not even going to go down the Brexit road. Let's leave that for another time. But Boris Johnson is a charlatan. Boris Johnson will tell people what they want to hear in order for them to vote for him. And, journalists like Nick Ferrari have to take a long look in the mirror and say, well, I have become part of the problem. I was the one cheering him on in 2019. I was banging on about taking back control. Well, then this is taking back control. As I said, you can't complain about it now. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.